Probono.org aims to galvanize legal practitioners to enforce a human rights-based approach to HIV, AIDS, and TB. Despite the significant gains made in South Africa in respect of HIV/AIDS, discrimination, challenges in accessing healthcare services, and the justice system by persons living with HIV/AIDS still exists. This video explores how the criminal justice system can protect the rights of persons living with HIV/AIDS. Sexual offenses places victims at greater risk of being infected with HIV/AIDS, and legal practitioners must leverage provisions of the criminal justice system to access adequate relief for the victims, more those who have been exposed to HIV/AIDS. Let's explore the remedies under the Sexual Offense Act. The Act provides that if a victim has been exposed to the risk of contracting HIV as a result of sexual offense, then they may receive post-exposure prophylaxis at a public health establishment at state expense. However, the victim is required to lay a charge with the police or designated health establishment in order to receive this treatment. Under the Sexual Offences Act, alleged sex offenders may be compelled to be tested for HIV at state expense without their consent. Victims of sexual offenses or interested persons on their behalf and SAPS investigating officers can apply to a magistrate for such a court order. In respect to the alleged offenders' constitutional right to privacy, special procedures exist to protect the confidentiality of the court application and the outcome of the HIV test results. The application is made by way of affidavit. Such application must be brought within 90 days after the alleged sexual offense took place. However, an investigating officer may bring an application outside the 90-day period. The application requires the following: that a sexual offense was committed against the victim by alleged offender, the offenses has been reported to SAPS or designated health establishment, there is a risk of exposure of the victim to HIV. If the application is done by an interested person, then it must be accompanied by the written consent of the victim unless the victim is under the age of 14 years old or suffers from an incapacity. The magistrate then has the power to grant such an order. If the order is granted and the alleged sex offender fails or refuses to undergo compulsory HIV tests, then this constitutes an offense which is subject to a fine or imprisonment for a period not exceeding 3 years. Once the results are confirmed, then the investigating officer must hand the results to the victim. If the charges are withdrawn against the alleged offender, then the test results and specimen must be destroyed. The test results may be used as evidence in civil proceedings or by the investigating officer as evidence in the criminal proceedings. A person who deliberately infects another person with HIV/AIDS may be charged with murder, culpable homicide if the victim dies as a result of such infection, or attempted murder, assault with intent to do grievous bodily harm, or assault if victim is still alive after the infection. Such cases have not been pursued often and they can be difficult to prosecute. Upon conviction and during sentencing stage, the perpetrator's commission of the sexual offense, while being fully aware of his or her positive HIV status, will amount to an aggravating factor. The factor will be considered in applying an applicable minimum sentence or in imposing any other sentence, should it be decided to deviate from applying a minimum sentence. In groundbreaking research, the South African Medical Research Council found that women who are raped were more likely to not only contract HIV/AIDS as a result of the rape, but also suffer from an adhesive impact on their mental health due to the rape and its stigma. Legal practitioners, especially prosecutors, are encouraged to use this research when addressing the court in aggravation of sentence and convincing the court not to deviate from applying a prescribed minimum sentence. Key and vulnerable population are often victims of discrimination and harassment when reporting sexual offenses to the police. This type of treatment discourages persons from reporting crimes, and impunities and discriminations continue. Sex workers are particularly vulnerable to abuse as activities related to sex work remain illegal. There are various avenues to seek redress besides civil litigation, such as laying a complaint at Independent Police Investigative Directorate, the South African Human Rights Commission, or Equity Court, especially in matters of unfair discrimination, hate speech, harassment on the ground of HIV status. In summary, the South African criminal justice system has a number of remedies which protect persons living with HIV/AIDS. However, human rights violations by law enforcement continues, and people living with HIV/AIDS often let down by the criminal justice system. These areas where legal practitioners can lend their skills and expertise. Propono.org will post more videos in the future, as well as hosting live webinars. Please remember to click like and follow us for more videos and webinars to keep you informed. Visit Propono.org website for useful resources to help you with your work. Feel free to comment on how you wish to get involved with Propono.org's work on how we can better help you.